Okay, so I'm parked down in my parking garage now. Um, we park down on the, it's an underground garage. We park on the very bottom, so there's not so many cars down here. And I just wanted to have it parked where I could show you a couple other little features. When you unlock the door, one of the things I love is it shoots this little light from under the side mirror in the shape of a pony, which is pretty cool and nostalgic. And it also unlocks automatically when you walk up to the car. You don't have to use the key. I wanted it in a dark parking garage so you could see some of these cool things. It's got this nice little illuminated Mustang logo on the door sill. Of course, it's got this nice sort of dark ambient light. And I wanted to show you some of the features on this car. Let me shut the door. And so I'm just going to turn on the accessories. It's got a push button start. If you just gently touch it, it'll turn on the accessories without turning on the engine. If you push it all the way in, of course, it'll fire up the engine. I don't want to fire up the engine yet. I will in a minute when I'm outside and you can hear the exhaust reverberate inside the garage, which is just awesome. But it's too loud for doing this review. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the... Well, here's all the climate control. It's pretty easy to use. There's your on-off switch, your AC. It's got these nice little up and down knobs. You just kind of push it up and down and it gives you the temperature. And the fan speed is, like I was saying on the test drive, it's got the push buttons. I would prefer a little knob, but I mean, that's not a big deal. The touch screen is real simple. You've got your home screen, which gives you these different features. Your audio, add a device. I'm actually not sure how that works or what it is, but you've got all your apps and your settings, and navigation's real easy to use. The audio presets are really easy. You've got presets here, and I like my old 90s rock, so I got my old presets here. Anyway, we're down in the garage, so I can't really show you how the sound system sounds right at this moment. But you know, it's a sound. I'm not a really big audio guy. I mean, it's a shaker system. I'd rather talk more about some of the interactive features. Yes, I know I need gas. I will do that. This car does use a lot of gas. If you want to get good gas mileage, don't buy a Mustang. All right, let me just go ahead and turn on these overhead lights a little bit so we can see it. So we've got these buttons down here. The first one is the flashers. So you just click that up and the flashers come on. And if you notice on the hood, can you see that there? There's a turn signal built into the hood on both sides. That's actually a new feature on the 2016. They didn't have that in the 15. So that's kind of neat for the turn signals or flashers. I really love these little switches down here, by the way. They just look very retro, almost like a cockpit of a plane. This is your traction control. If you push it up, it'll say traction control off, and you don't have to click OK. That's just to make the screen go away. But then there's a permanent little light that comes on. When you shut the engine off, it will reset with the traction control back on again. And yes, I know that the check engine light is on. That's because we're in accessory mode. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with the car. As you can see, I have a whopping 291 miles on it, so the engine's not even fully broken in yet. So that's how new this is. This is the steering mode. It has a little steering wheel on there. When you click it up, you get these different modes. You got sport mode, comfort mode, and normal. So I thought there was one called track. I don't know what comfort mode is, but Leo, the salesman, told me that sport mode is the best for, you get like pretty good feel in the steering wheel. And then over here you've got the track mode. Well, you've got this mode switch. So this is steering, and this is, I think this is more for like suspension. You've got drive mode, normal, sport, track, and then slow and wet. I actually haven't tried that. I should try that in the rain, because I keep it in normal for the most part. Maybe I should try it in sport too, but yeah, normal is what it's usually set on, and the wheels will actually spin in the rain a little bit. So traction control doesn't work so well in the rain. So you might want to put it in that, you know, like I said, I haven't really tried a lot of this stuff, but I was just playing around with it. A couple cool things on the dash here. So these gauges, of course, on the left and right are permanent. The one in the middle is an LED gauge, and on the control switch here, you can push this arrow to the left, and it brings you to the menu. So we can click up and down and kind of scroll through it. So right now, this is the gauge dial. So it's set on inlet air temperature, and you can change what gauge you want to have display in the middle there. For example, air-fuel ratio, 14.0 to 1. I guess it's supposed to be around 14.7. But, you know, I mean, who really cares? It's like, these are kind of silly. Your cylinder head temperature, your inlet air temp, that's what I keep it on, just because it's a normal looking gauge. You know, if you switch to some of these other ones, they all look a little different. You know, oil temp, it's kind of a goofy looking gauge. And by the way, oil temp, it's like, you also have, oh, over here you've got your, whoops, sorry, pushing on buttons while I'm trying to show it to you. You've got your, you know, your engine temperature there. So why would I need an oil temperature gauge as well? I don't know. Voltage, that's important. I mean, they're fun, you know, air-fuel ratio. So I'll just keep it on inlet air temp because why not? And oh, the real reason, I forgot to tell you, if you don't choose a dial, to display, what usually happens is you get this mode. And this mode, unfortunately, shows you your average fuel economy. So look at my average fuel economy, 11.5 miles per gallon. That sucks. And I haven't even been driving it all that hard. I mean, I get on it a little bit, but you know, it's mostly city driving, and the car is not totally broken in yet, so that mileage will actually increase probably in a few hundred miles. So you can set your trip. You got your track apps. I haven't really used this, but I've watched videos on it. This will tell you how fast your 0 to 60 is, your quarter mile time. It'll tell you your lateral G's. All of this cool stuff, brake performance, lap timer, launch control. I've heard that if you choose launch control, it actually voids your factory warranty, which is really stupid. But basically, launch control is you set your RPM and you rev the engine, you drop the clutch, and it controls your wheel spin and helps you have the best acceleration you could for like drag racing and whatever. So I'm not going to use launch control because I don't want to void my warranty, especially since I bought the extended 100,000 mile warranty. I'm not going to be launching it. I'd rather just get a little wheel spin. I'm not going to go drive this car for competitive stuff. Driver assist is kind of neat. Auto engine off, that means when you exit the car, because your keys, you don't have to use the key to start the motor. It's all push button. You can keep the key in your pocket. If you check that off, I think that means you can walk away from the car and it'll still run. Or if you have it checked on as it is, it will shut down the engine when you walk away from the car, which is actually kind of cool. Hill start assist is actually really nifty. On a manual transmission like this, it's nice to have the hill assist when you're on a hill. The brakes will hold itself when you take your foot off the brake and get on the gas so you don't roll back. The rear parking aid is just the beep beep beeps when you are backing up. So when you one cool thing is to put it in reverse, it's got this little sleeve here, this collar that you pull up, and then you go up or over and up, and that puts it in reverse. And so if I had the engine running, it would be beep beep beeping me that, you know, there's a wall right behind you. So that's what that's all about. And then if I go back to the main menu and I go to settings, this is actually kind of cool. Vehicle, you've got lighting, you've got locks. You can set all kinds of stuff like how long the lighting stays on. This is kind of neat though. You've got gauge color. You can change it from these different colors. So right now it's set on ice blue, but you can go to white and actually look at the gauges change. White, green, purple. That's kind of trippy, huh? Blue, orange. That's more like a BMW or something. I had a 325i before this car, and that's what that reminds me of. And then you've got red, which is like kind of trippy. and then you can, I don't know what my color is, I guess you can program colors. So I like ice blue the best. That's what that was the default setting. Ambient light, you have ambient color, so you know, blue, purple, and that's, you can't really see it very well, but those are the colors like here, see in the door, and also on the wheel, the footwell. So I prefer blue, so that's what I leave it on. So those are some of the features inside the car. Obviously it's got, you know, the auto headlights and all that kind of good stuff. I think I've covered pretty much everything. Oh, I love this, by the way. On the dashboard, it's hard to see, but it says Mustang since 1964. It's this metallic plaque right here. It's really nice. So yeah, interior is really nice and pretty. There's absolutely no legroom in the back. You can't see it very well, but the front seats literally touch the back seats when you put them all the way back. All right, let's fire it up and see what it sounds like in the garage. All right, so we're in the garage. There's going to be a lot of echoing, and this is going to be loud. It's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to fire it up and give it some revs.
Yeah, it makes some noise.